Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to North Penn High School Theater's production of As You Like It. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. First of all, my name is Andrea Roney, and I am the producer and co-director of tonight's production. So there's a couple of things to let you know about. First off, there are, during intermission, you have restrooms across the lobby and down the glass concourse where you came in, so they're available to you. There will be refreshments down in the concourse as well, so please feel free to go out and have some candy, some water, whatever at intermission, but please leave your trash outside and not in here for the custodians. We also have candygrams. You probably saw those coming in, that you can send a note backstage to your favorite crew person or cast person or whatever, and they can get some candy and a lovely note from you about their performance or their work on this show. We also would ask at this time that your cell phones, we all have them, right? Can we please turn them off? They do interfere with our sound system, and it's also rather disturbing if they go off in the middle of a performance, not only for the people around you, but also for the actors on the stage. They can hear it, and they can see your screen as well. So please turn those off right now. If you leave during intermission and go out in the lobby and call somebody, please turn them off when you come back in as well. Couple of things to say tonight. First of all, tonight we are live streaming this performance. So our hellos to everybody out there in TV land and to the people on the camera in the balcony who are going to be watching the show live tonight. But it's also being recorded. Because here's the thing about this show. There's no licensing. Shakespeare's been dead for 400 years. He gets no royalties, which is a good reason to do him because it makes for a cheaper production, but it also allows us to stream it to the community. So if you have someone who wanted to come tonight or wanted to come tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock for our final show and they don't have time to get here, encourage them to go to the website. They can get a ticket to watch a streamed performance. They're going to be, well, live tonight, so if they're busy tonight, they're missing it. But next Saturday night at 7:30 and next Sunday at 3 o'clock. It will be live, it will be streaming this performance that you're seeing tonight. So if you really love what you see tonight, you get a chance to see it again. And you can stream it and watch it up close and personal and get faces and things like that, which is really exciting. So we want to thank North Penn TV, who makes it possible, absolutely, who makes it possible for us to do this and to bring this to our community. The really cool thing, though, is our spring musical. You may have seen it in the program. Our spring musical is Children of Eden, and we are going to be able to live stream our Saturday night performance as well. We can't record stream it, but we can live stream it. So keep that in mind for friends you might have out in California or across the pond in England or in France or exchange students or people like that, people off at college, that they will have an opportunity to see the shows if they would like to. So we are so proud to be able to do that. And what you see tonight on the stage is really a mixture of 5 arts disciplines. We have theater, of course, but we also have dance, we have music, we have visual arts in the building of our set and our costumes, and we also have the media arts with our collaboration with North Penn TV. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have, an experience to have for our students in our community. And we are so thankful that our community, our school district, our teachers, our administration, our school board all support quality arts education here at North Penn School District. It makes a difference in students' lives. And I can tell you that because I see a number of faces here that were students on this stage, who were music students and TV students and theater students and dance students and also did fine arts and visual arts. Would you all please stand up, all the alumni in the audience? Here we go. We have amazing people here, and there's some in the balcony too. And there's a couple that suddenly got shy and didn't stand up. But isn't it amazing that they come back here and see the shows? And isn't it amazing that these are people, whether or not they went into one of the performing arts or any of the arts, who have found their voices and found how to be their authentic selves out in the world. And that's what arts education does for people. So thank you, community. Thank you, administration. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to those at home for supporting us and for continuing to support us. We are so excited to be able to give you this production tonight. It is a show that was written back in in 1599, but we've changed it a little bit. We made it 1968. So you're going to see a little bit of changes, some fun music through the course of it, and a wonderful rom-com where there's not one romantic couple, not two romantic couples, not three romantic couples, but four. We have it all over Hallmark. So did Shakespeare. So thank you very much for being here tonight. Enjoy the show. Please tell people there's still a performance tomorrow, and there's also the recorded performances next weekend. Thank you for supporting the arts. Enjoy the show. We hope it is as you like it.
Breaking news from one of our city's most prominent corporations, the Court, as Frederica Duke solidifies her position and appointment as CEO. Several weeks ago, Ms. Duke led a hostile takeover of the Court that ended with her elder brother being ousted after 15 years at the helm. The elder Duke has retired to the Forest of Arden, an artistic community with a number of his former employees. Tomorrow, Miss Duke plans to host a celebration of her new position to which the public is invited. Food, musical entertainment, and a wrestling contest is on the agenda. This is KWBW News Radio 1060 on your AM dial.
Here, boy, take a break.
Thank you, Alice.
Of course.
You know, as I remember, Alice, it was upon this fashion, bequeathed me by will, and as thou sayest, that my father charged my brother Oliver to treat me and keep me well. There begins my sadness. My sister Jill he keeps at school, and reports speak goldenly of her prophet. As for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that keeping? Besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, he lets me feed with his pigs, denies me my inheritance, and bars me the place of a brother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's this that grieves me, Alice, and the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against his servitude, and I can no longer endure it. Though I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my employer, your brother.
Go apart, Alice, and thou shalt see how he will shake me up.
Now, brother, what make you here?
Nothing. I'm not taught to make anything.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be not a while.
Shall I take your hogs and eat husks with them? What kind of prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such privation?
Know you where you are, sir?
Aye, sir. Very well, here, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye, sir. Better than him I am before knows me. I know you're my eldest brother, and in the gentle conditions of love, you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you your better, and that you are the firstborn. But that same tradition does not go against my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us, I would have as much of my father in me as you. Listen to me.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Roland du Bois, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father fathered villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not remove this hand from thy throat till this other remove thy tongue for saying so.
Sweet gentlemen, be patient, for your father's remembrance be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me only as a laborer, obscuring me and hiding me from all education. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. So allow me such experiences that may become my birth, or give me the poor lottery that my father left me by testament. And with that, I will go buy my fortunes.
And what will thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your inheritance. I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes for my good.
Get you with him, old woman.
Is old woman my reward? Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old Mr. Roland. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to challenge upon me? I will cut you down to size, and yet give no inheritance neither. Denise!
You called?
Was not Charles, Duke's wrestler, come to see me?
So please you. He is here at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in. 'Twill be a good way, and tomorrow the wrestling is.
Good morrow to you, sir.
Good morning, Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
There's no news at the court, sir, but the old news, that is. Duke, the old CEO, is ousted by his younger sister, the new CEO, and 3 or 4 loving employees have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose former salaries now enrich the new CEO. Therefore, she gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, for Frederica's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile or would have died to stay behind her.
Where will Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with him, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many people flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the Golden World.
What? You wrestle tomorrow before Frederica.
Marry do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath the disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow I wrestle for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him as I must for my own honor if he come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all, that either you might stay him from his intendment or brook such disgrace as he shall run into. In that it is of his own choice, and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy friendship to me, which thou shalt find I most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have, by underhanded means, worked to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I'll tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, and a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger. And thou wert best look to it, for if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he hath taken thy life by some indirect means or another. For I assure thee, and it is almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him. I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I will give him his payment.
Farewell, good Charles. And now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end to him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than Orlando. Yet he's gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, full of noble device, and of all sorts enchantingly beloved, and indeed so much in the heart of the world, and especially amongst my own people who know him best, that I am altogether misjudged. but it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all, and nothing remains but to kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
Rosalind. Sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of. And would you yet I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget an ousted father, you must not learn me to remember any extraordinary pleasures.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy aunt, the new CEO, my mother, so thou hadst been still with me. I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know, my mother hath no child but I, nor none is like to have, and truly when she dies, thou shalt be her heir. For what she hath taken from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor, I will. And when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Miss Celia, you must come away to your mother.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor. But I was sent to come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true, for since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show.
The wrestling starts in 5 minutes.
Here comes Mr. LeBeau,
With his mouth full of news.
which he will put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crammed. Hello, Mr. LeBeau. What's the news?
Fair ladies, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? Of what color?
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us the manner of the fighting.
I will tell you the beginning. And if it please you both, you may see the end, for the best is yet to do. And here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There was an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old joke.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, Frederica's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs. And so he served the second, and so the third.
Alas!
But what is the sport, LeBeau, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first that ever I heard breaking of ribs was sport for young ladies.
Or I promise thee.
Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for here's the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder. Sure, they are coming. Let us now stay and see it. Come on. Since the youth will not be entreated, his own peril and his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, Miss Rosalind.
Alas, he is too young, yet he looks appealingly.
How now, daughter and niece? Have you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, aunt, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There's such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, girls. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Mr. LeBeau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Oh, Mr. Challenger, the young ladies call for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, he's the general challenger. I come but in, as others do, to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be mistook. We shall make it our case to Aunt Frederica that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, but punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny such fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one sham that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that was willing to be so. I do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world do I fill up a place, in which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength that I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come, where is this young idiot that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warned, ma'am. You shall not entreat him to a second, that have so mightily persuaded him from a first.
You mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before. Bring it on.
Now, Hercules be thy speed, young man.
I would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Oh, excellent young man!
If I had a thunderbolt in mine eye, I could tell who should down.
No more!
No more!
No more!
I beseech, madam, though I am not yet well breathed.
Stop! How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, madam, the youngest son of Roland de Bois.
I would thou hadst told me of another father. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I found him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed, hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a bold young man. I would thou hadst been son to some man else.
Were I my mother, coz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be my father's son, his youngest son, and I would not change that calling.
My father loved Mr. Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties, ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My mother's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you keep your promises in love, but justly as you have exceeded all promise, your young lady shall be happy.
Young sir, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune, that could give more, but that her hand lacks means.
Shall we go, coz?
Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you?
He calls us back. Do you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you. Fare you well.
What are these weights that hang upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, and yet she urges conference. Oh, Orlando, thou art overthrown. Charles or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. Albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love. Yet such is now Frederica's condition that she misconstrues all that you have done.
I thank you, but pray you tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of Frederica that was here at the wrestling?
Neither her daughter, if we judge by manners. But yet indeed, the smaller is her daughter. The other is daughter to the ousted duke, and here detained by her usurping aunt to keep her daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that as of late, this lady hath taken displeasure against her gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, her malice against the girl will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well.
I rest much beholden to you, sir. Very well. Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant CEO unto tyrant brother. Oh, but heavenly Rosalind,
Why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
Could it be on such a sudden that you should fall into so strong a liking with old Mr. Du Bois's youngest son?
My father loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? By this kind of chase, I should hate him, for my mother hated his father dearly. Yet I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that. And do you love him because I do? Look, here comes your mother.
With her eyes full of anger.
Niece, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, aunt?
You, niece, within these 10 days, if thou beest found, thou wilt be exported.
I do beseech you, aunt. Let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me. Never so much as in thought unborn did I offend your office.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet, your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your office took his position. So was I when your office ousted him. Treason is not inherited, my aunt, and if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my aunt, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear mother, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake. Else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her, but now I know her.
She is too subtle for thee. Her patience, her smoothness, her very silence speak to the people,
and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is the doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, mother. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. Niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you will be cut off.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change parents? I'll give thee mine. I charge thee, be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Knowest not my mother hath banished me, her daughter?
That she hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love that teacheth thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my mother seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself, and leave me out. For by this heaven, now at our sorrows pale, say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
But what danger it will be to us, girls as we are, to travel forth so far. Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because I am more than common tall, that I did suit me all points like a man?
And what shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look you, call me Ganymede.
For your reddish hair.
And warrior soul. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my own state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
Oh, cousin, what if we essayed to steal the good touchstone out of your mother's sphere? Would he not be comfort to our travels?
He'll go along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away and get our jewels and wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now, go we in content to liberty and not to banishment.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of have her make me a cambric shirt. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Without any seam nor fine needlework, then she'll be a true love of mine.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old customs made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Sweet are the uses of adversity, and this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stone, and good in everything.
You would not change it, I think. Happy Duke that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we kill us a venison? And yet, it irks me that the poor, dappled fools should have their round conscience gored.
Indeed, friend Duke. The melancholy Jaques grieves at that.
Today, my friends, along with myself, did steal behind him as he ran along.
Under an oak, whose antique root peeps out.
To the which place a poor sequestered stag, that, from the hunter's aim, had ta'en a hurt,
did come to languish.
And indeed, we also saw the wretched animal heave forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coat, almost to bursting.
But what said Jaques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes.
Thus most invectively he pierceth through the body of the country, city, court.
Yea, and of this our life.
Swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he is full of matter.
We'll bring you to him straight.
Can it be possible that no one saw them? It cannot be. Some people of the court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. But, dear madam, the rogue touchstone, at whom so oft yourself was wont to laugh, is also missing. Hesperia, the young lady's cleaning woman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles. And she believes, wherever they have gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother. Bring that young man hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I will make him find him. Do this suddenly. And let not search or inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Who's there?
What? My sweet young boy? Oh, my gentle boy, oh, my sweet boy, oh, you old memory of Mr. Roland. Why, what make you here?
But what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors. Within this roof the enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother, no brother, yet the son, yet not the son. I will not call him son. Of him I was about to call your father, hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging in which you are to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him and his practices. This is no place, this house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, do not enter it.
Why, whither, Alice, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What? Would thou have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous knife enforce a thievish living on the common road? Yet this I will not do. Do as I can.
But do not so. I have $3,000, the thrifty hire I saved under your father, when service should in my old limbs lie lame, and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the raven feed, yea, providently caters for the sparrow. Be comfort to my age. Here is the check, and all this I give you.
No, I couldn't.
Let me be your servant. Though I may be old, yet I am strong and hardy. But let me go with you.
Good lady, we'll go along together, and ere with thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Go forth, boy, and I will follow thee, to the last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Tell her to weave it in a sycamore wood hay. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. And gather it all with a basket of flowers. And then she'll be a true love of mine.
Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits, if my legs were not weary.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as jacket and jeans ought to show itself courageous to petticoats. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go on no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good Touchstone. Look you who comes here, a young man and an old woman in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Karina, that thou knew how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Karina, being old. Yeah, thou canst not guess. Oh, thou didst then ne'er love so heartily. If thou remember'st not the slightest folly that love did make thee run into, then thou hast not loved. Thou hast not sat as I do now, wearing thy hearer in thy mistress's praise, then thou hast not loved. If thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, then thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe.
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. We that are true lovers run into strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er be ware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
Oh, Jove, Jove, the shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you questioned yon woman, if she for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Hello, you.
Peace, fool. She's not thy kinswoman.
Who calls?
Your betters, ma'am.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, ma'am.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherdess, if that love or gold could in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young woman with travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her and wish for her sake more than for mine own my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. The owner is of churlish disposition and little cares to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy the flock and pasture?
That swain that you saw but ere while, the little cares for buying anything.
I pray you, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you like upon report the soil, the profit in this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Under the greenwood tree, my friend, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. Come hither, my friend, come hither, my friend. The answer is underneath the tree.
More, I prithee, more.
It will make you melancholy, friend Jaques.
Nay, I thank it. I can suck melancholy out of a song, as a weasel sucks eggs. So more, I prithee, more.
Who doth ambition shun, my friend, who loves to live in the sun, and seeking the food he eats and flees with what he eventually gets. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. Come hither, my friend, come hither, my friend. The answer is underneath the tree.
Our voices are ragged. We know we cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I desire you to sing. So come, more, another stanzo. Call you them stanzos?
What you will, Jaques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
Well, we'll end the song. But Duke hath been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. So come, warble, come.
Under the greenwood tree, my friend, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
And we'll go seek Duke. His banquet is well prepared.
Hither, my friend, the answer is underneath the tree.
Dear boy, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind boy.
Oh, good Alice, no greater heart in thee. Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. I will be with thee presently, and if I bring thee not something to eat, then I give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I return, then thou art a mocker of my labor. Come, I will bear you to some shelter, and thou shalt not die of a lack of dinner. If there lie anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Alice.
Wash it in yonder dry well. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Where water ne'er sprung, nor drop of rain fell, then she'll be a true love of mine.
I think he be transformed into a beast. I can find him nowhere like a man.
My lord, he's but even now gone hence. Here was he merry, hearing of his song.
Go, seek him. Tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, my friend? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merry.
A fool! I met a fool in the forest. A colorful fool in this miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eye, says very wisely, "'Tis 10 o'clock, thus we may see," quoth he, "how the world wags. For 'tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs a tale." But when I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh, sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Ah, noble fool, worthy fool, motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
Ah, the noble fool. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a colorful coat.
Thou shalt have one.
Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
O most mischievous, foul sin, in chiding sin, for thou thyself hast been a libertine, that thou with license of free foot hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
Stop now, and eat no more.
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Nor shalt not, till necessity be served.
Art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress? Or else such a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemst so empty?
You touched my vein at first. But stop now, I say. He dies that touches any of this fruit.
Why? Then I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force, more than your force, move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food. Let me have it.
Sit down and eat, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I thought all things had been savage here. Let your gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush and hide my hand.
True it is, we have seen better days. Therefore, sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little longer, whilst like a doe I must go out and find my fawn. There is an old woman who after me hath many a weary step, limped in pure love and oppressed by two weak evils, age and hunger. Until she be first sufficed, I will not touch a bit.
Go, find her out, and we will nothing waste till your return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then, the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Then, the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose, and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. And last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burthen, and let her eat.
I thank ye most for her.
So had you need. I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome, and fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Play music, and gentle friend, sing.
Man's ingratitude, although thy breath be rude.
Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot, as friends remembered not. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is feigning, most loving merely folly. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly, then hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly.
If that you were, my friend Roland's son, as you have whispered faithfully you were, be truly welcomed hither. I am Duke, that loved your father. Good woman, thou art right welcome, as thy young man is. Support her by the arm, give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Not seen him since? Sir, that cannot be. Find out thy brother, bring him willing or not within these 12 days, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all things thou dost call thine worth seizure, do we seize into our hands until thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth of what we think against thee.
Oh, if I might share my heart in this, I never loved my brother in my life.
More villain, thou and I.
there my verse, in witness of my love. Oh, Rosalind, let these trees be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character, and that every eye in which this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Oh, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, the inexpressible she.
And how like you this shepherd's life, Mr. Touchstone?
Truly, lady, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect it is a shepherd's life, it is not. Now, in respect it is solitary, I like it very well. But that it is private, it is a vile life. That it is in the fields, it pleaseth me well. But that it is not in court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there's no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, lady?
No more, but that the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. That he that wants means, money, and content is without 3 good friends. That the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn. That good pasture makes fat sheep. And that a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding, or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one as a natural philosopher. Wast ever in the court?
No, truly. Sir, I am a true laborer. I get that I eat, get that I wear. Oh, no man hate, envy no man's happiness. Glad of other men's good, content with my harm. And the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck. Here comes young Ganymede, my new landlady's brother.
From the east to western Ind, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind but the fair of Rosaline.
All rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted.
Out, fool.
For a taste. If a hart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. They that reap must sheath and bind, then to cart with Rosalind. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and Rosalind. These are the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
I'll graph it with you.
You have said, but whether wisely or not, let the forest judge.
Peace. Here comes my sister. Reading.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled, no. Tongues all hang on every tree, that shall civil saying show. But upon the fairest boughs, or at every sentence end, will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite heaven would in little show. Therefore heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all graces wide enlarged, nature presently distilled. Thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, with many faces, eyes, and hearts to have the touches dearest prized. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave?
Oh, most gentle pulpiter, what tedious homilies of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never once cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Back, friends. Go off, missus. Go with her, Touchstone.
Come, ma'am, let us make an honorable retreat, though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scrippage.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, yes, and more too, for some had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
Know you who hast done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck? Change you color?
I prithee who?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now, with most fervent and passionate appeal, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all whooping.
Good my complexion. Dost thou think, though I am dressed like a man, that I have a jacket and jeans in my disposition? I prithee tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou could stammer, that thou might pour the concealed man out of thy mouth, as wine comes out a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once, or none at all. I prithee take the cork out of thy mouth, that may drink thy tidings.
It is young Orlando, that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart, both in an instant.
Orlando.
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 Orlando. At last the day. What shall I do with my jacket and jeans? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? How parted he with thee? Oh, and when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word. But doth he know I am in this forest? And in man's apparel? Looks he as handsome as he was the day he wrestled?
I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
Oh, it may well be called Zeus's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Oh, though it be a pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous. He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without burden. Thou bringst me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think I must speak. Sweet, say on.
Soft, comes he not here?
'Tis he. Slink by and note him.
I thank thee for thy company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
I would as well, but for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
Yes, I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more of my love songs with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is thy love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
Well, there was no thought in pleasing you when she was christened.
You have a nimble wit. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery.
I would chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
But the worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue. I'm wary of you.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him and play the rogue with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is the clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There are no clocks in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
Well, why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. For if the interim be but a sennight, time's pace is so hard that it seemed the length of 7 years.
Okay, then who ambles time withal?
with a priest that lacks Latin, and a rich man that hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. These time ambles withal.
And who doth he gallop withal?
With a thief to the gallows, for though he go as softly as foot can fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
I see. And who stays it still withal?
With lawyers in the vacation, for they sleep between term and term, and then perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, witty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place? Your accent is something finer than can be purchased from so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man, one who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be taxed with as many giddy offenses as he hath generally taxed their whole sex withal.
I prithee, recount some of them.
Nay, I will not cast my physic but on those that are sick. There is a man that haunts this forest, abuses our young plants, carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs ode upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel.
I am that he that is so lovesick. I pray you tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a man in love, which I am sure you are not.
Well, what were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A sunken eye, which you have not. And then your shirt should be unbuttoned, your hair uncombed, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man.
Oh, good youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
But are you he that writes the verses wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness. Yet, I profess curing it by counsel.
Well, have you ever cured any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his lady friend, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time I would be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything. Would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him. That which I drove my suitor from a mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to this place and woo me.
By the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and I'll show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
rise, Audrey. I will fetch up your goat, Audrey. And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features. Lord warrant us, what features?
I am here with thee, and thy goat. I would the gods had made thee poetical.
Oh, knowledge ill-inhabited.
I do not understand what this poetical is. Is it honest in deed and word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do truly, for thou swearest to me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless thou wert hard favored. For honesty coupled to beauty is to have honey a sauce to sugar.
A material fool.
Well, I am not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Well, praised be the gods for thy foulness. But be it as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end, I have been with Olivia Martext, the pastor of the next village, who hath agreed to meet me in this place of the woods and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen. Here comes Pastor Olivia now. Pastor Martext, you are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we follow you to your chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her on gift of any man.
Truly, she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed, proceed. I'll give her.
Good evening, good Mr. How do you do, sir? You are very well met. I am very glad to see you.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the dog has his leash, sir, and the horse her harness, so too hath man his desires.
But will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Come, get you to church, where you can have a good priest tell you what marriage is. This pastor will but join you together as they join wainscot, and then one of you will prove to be a shrunk panel, and like green timber, warp, warp.
I am not of the mind, but I were better to be married of her than of another, for she is not like to marry me well, and not being well married, it'll be a good excuse hereafter for me to leave my wife.
No, no, get you with me and let me counsel thee.
Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married, or we must live in bawdry. Farewell, good Pastor Martext. Not, O sweet Olivia, O brave Olivia, leave me not behind thee, but wind away. Begone, I say, I will not to wedding with thee.
Ah, whatever!
'Tis no matter, ne'er a fantastical knave of them all shall flout me of my calling.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do, I prithee, but yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good a cause as any, therefore weep.
His very hair is of the dissembling color.
An excellent color. Your chestnut was ever the only color.
But why did he swear he would come this morning, and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Not true in love?
Well, yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
Oh, you have heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. The oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. Both are the confirmer of false reckonings. He attends here on the forest, on Uncle Duke. Your father?
I met Uncle Duke, my father, yesterday and had much question with him. He asked of what parentage I was, so I told him of as good as he, so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Who comes here?
Sweet young mammon, sir, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow and scorn of proud disdain, go hence a little, and I will conduct you if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight, and you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Stop it, Sylvius!
Phoebe!
Now!
Phoebe!
I love you not.
Phoebe!
Get gone!
Phoebe!
I mean it.
Phoebe!
Truly.
Phoebe!
Go away.
Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death does make hard, falls not upon the humble neck, but first the humbled executioner begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that lives and dies by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee.
Phoebe.
Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye? 'Tis pretty and sure, very probable, that eyes, which are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers.
Phoebe.
Now I do frown at thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, then let them kill thee! Ugh. Now, counterfeit to swoon. Why now, fall down. Or if thou cannot, oh, for shame, lie not to say that mine eyes are murderers. Show me the wound my eyes hath made in thee. Scratch thee with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Come on. Lean but upon a rush, and the cicatrix and capable in pressure, thy palm some moments keeps. But mine eyes, which I've darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor, I am sure, there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
If ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, oh, then you too shall know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows do make.
But till that time, come not thou art near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks. Pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee. Ha.
And why? I pray you. Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty, must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why? What means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sales work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too.
No, Faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. For 'tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your sparkling eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south, puffing with the wind and rain. You are 1,000 times proper a man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can make her. But, young lady, know yourself, down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So, take her to thee, shepherd, fare you well.
Sweet youth, chide a year together? I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. You shall know my house. 'Tis at the tuft of olives here hard by. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, make her squirm. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look on him better, though all the world could see. None be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Oh, dead shepherd, now I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that love not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
Ha! What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Well, wherever sorrow is, relief would be.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee. And it is not that I bear thee love, but since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company which erst was irksome to me, I'll endure and I'll employ thee too, but do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
Oh, so holy and so perfect is my love. And I, in such a poverty of grace, should find it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, that I will live upon. Yep.
Knowest the youth that I spoke to your while?
Not very well. I'd met him oft. He had bought the bounds in the cottage that the old scoundrel once was master of.
Think not that I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. But what I care for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. Oh, it is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure, he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. Oh, he'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense. His eye did he lit up, though. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. Oh, his leg is but so, but 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper, more lusty red than the mixed in his cheek. 'Twas the difference between the constant red and the mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, have they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black. And now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write him a very taunting letter. And thou shalt bear it. Oh, come here, wilt thou, Silvius?
Phoebe, with all of my heart.
I'll write it straight. I'll be bitter and passing short. The matter's in my head and in my heart. Go with me, Silvius.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, lose my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue. how they toss the dice. It had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. I can't see me loving
I pray thee, witty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing. Why? 'Tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why, then, 'tis good to be a post.
Why, I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the businessman's, which is proud, or the soldier's, which is ambitious, or the lawyer's, which is politic, or the lady's, which is nice, or the lover's, which is all these, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many ingredients, extracted from many objects, and indeed my often rumination wraps me in a most moody sadness.
A traveler, by my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own land to see other men's. Then to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I had rather a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, God be with you. You talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Mr. Traveler. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love? He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love. It may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him over the shoulder, but I'll warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, Rosalind.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me, for now I am in holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better speak first. Then, when you are at a loss for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss.
Well, how if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins a new manner. Am I not your Rosalind?
Well, I take some joy to say you are, because I'd be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
Then in my own person, I die.
The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time, there was not any man died in his own person for a love cause. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I cannot have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By this hand it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition. Ask me what you will, and I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I. Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Why can one desire too much of good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
Pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Like now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask for your commission, but I do take the Orlando to be my husband. Now, tell me how long you would have her after you've possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
But she is wise.
Or else she cannot have the wit to do this. Shut the doors upon a woman's wit, and 'twill out of the casement. Shut that, 'twill out of the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke out of the chimney.
Why, a man with a wife of such wit, he might say, Wit, whither wilt thou go?
Nay, you might keep that check for it, till you met your wife's wit slipping out the door.
Well, what wit could wit have to excuse that?
Mary, to say she came to seek you. You shall never take her without her answer, unless you take her without her tongue. Oh, that woman that cannot make her fault her husband's occasion. Let her never nurse her child itself, for she will breed it like a fool.
Well, for these 2 hours, Rosalind, I leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock I will be with thee again.
Go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. 2 o'clock is your hour?
Aye, Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So, adieu.
Adieu.
You've simply misused our sex in your love prate. We ought to have your jacket and jeans plucked over your head and show what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz, that thou didst know how many fathoms deep I am in love, but it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom.
Or rather, bottomless, for as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
Nay, that same wicked son of Venus, that blind rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out. Let him be the judge of how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Eliana, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
How say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
I warrant you, with pure heart and troubled brain, he hath taken his bow and arrows and is gone forth to sleep. But look who comes here.
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but by the stern brow and waspish action that she did use as a writing of it, it bears an angry tenure. Pardon me, I am but as a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter. She says that I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me were man as rare as Phoenix. Odds my will, her love is not the hare I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Come, come. You are a fool. I say she never did invent the letter. This is a man's invention, and in his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
'Tis a boisterous and cruel style. A style for challengers. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I have not heard it yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to a shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy God had laid apart, warst thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whilst the eyes of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me, a beast. If the scorn of your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee little knows this love in me, and by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
You call this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What, to make thee an instrument and play false strains upon thee, not to be endured? Well, go your ways to her, for I see love hath made thee a tame snake, and say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her, unless thou entreat for her. If you be a true lover, hence, and not a word, for here comes more company.
Good morrow. Fair ones, pray you, if you know, where in the purlieus of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor's bottom, the rank of osiers by the murmuring stream. Left on your right hand brings you to the place. But at this hour the house doth keep itself, there's none within.
If that an eye may profit by a tongue, then should I know you by description, such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The woman, low and browner than her brother. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is no boast, being asked. Oh, to say we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you both, and to that youth he calls his Rosalind. He sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me what man I am, and how, and why, and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour, and pacing through the forest, lo, what befell. He threw his eye aside, and mark what object did present itself under an oak whose boughs were mossed with age. A wretched, ragged man lay sleeping on his back. About his neck, a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who with her head, nimble in threats, approached the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented glides did slip away into a bush. Under which bush's shade, a mountain lion, with udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground, with cat-like watch for when the sleeping man should stir. For 'tis the royal disposition of that beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. This seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of that same brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And well he might so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there? Food to the sucked and hungry mountain lion?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, and nature stronger than his just occasion, made him give battle to the mountain lion, who quickly fell before him, in which, hurtling from miserable slumber, I awaked.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that so oft contrived to get rid of him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly unto his cave, there stripped himself, and here on his arm the mountain lion had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and now he fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me here, as stranger as I am, to tell this story, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to give this napkin, dyed in his blood, unto the shepherd youth that he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
How now, Ganymede, sweet Ganymede?
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There is more in it. Cousin Ganymede?
Look, he recovers.
I would I were at home.
We'll lead you thither. Will you take him by the arm?
Be of good cheer, youth. You a man? You lack a man's heart.
I do so. A body would think this was well played. I pray you tell your brother how well I played it. Whoa.
This was not played. There's too great testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of earnest.
Played, I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and play at being a man?
So I do, but I confess I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you grow paler and paler. Pray you draw homewards. Good sir, go with us?
That will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
Yep, I shall devise something, but in the meantime, I pray you commend my playing to him. Will you go?
We shall find the time, Audrey.
When?
Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the pastor was good enough, for all the old gentlemen saying.
Oh, a most wicked Pastor Olivia, Audrey. A most vile martext. But Audrey, there is a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who 'tis, but he hath no interest in me in the world. Here comes the man you mean.
It is meat and drink to me to see a clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
And good evening to you too, sir.
Good evening, gentle friend. How old are you, friend?
25, sir.
A ripe age. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
A fair name. Wast born in the forest here?
Aye, sir. I thank God.
Thank God. A good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir. So-so.
So-so is good. Very good. Very excellent good, and yet it is not. It is but so-so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure in rhetoric that drink, being poured out of a cup into a glass, by filling one doth empty the other. He that...
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar leave, the society, which in the boorish is company, of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is, abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest. I will ban thee with the infection. I will o'errun thee with policy. I will insult thee 150 ways. Therefore, tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest you, merry sir.
Ganymede and Aliena seek you. Come, away, away.
Strip, Audrey. I attend, I attend.
That on such little acquaintance, you should like her?
Yes!
That but seeing you should love her?
Yes!
And loving woo. And wooing she should grant. Will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting, but say with me, I love Aliena. And say with her that she loves me, and consent with both that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good, for my father's house, and all the revenue that was our father's will lie estate on you, and here live and die a shepherd.
Well, you have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow, and thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena. For look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thy wear thy heart in a scarf.
Oh, it's my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how well I played at swooning when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonder than that.
I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true, for your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb immediately.
And they'll be married tomorrow, and I will bid Duke to the nuptial. But, oh, how bitter it is a thing to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By tomorrow shall I be at the height of heart heaviness, in which I see my brother getting everything that he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a man of good conceit. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3 years old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you.
Yes, yes. Or I mean, no.
To set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind if you will.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you've done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him. He worships you.
Shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
Oh, it is to be all made of sighs and tears. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, all made of wishes.
Keep going.
All adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness.
Go on.
All purity, trial, all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
Why, her who is not here, nor doth not hear.
Oh, pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry a woman, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy a man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So, fare you well. I have left you commands.
Oh, I will not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Done?
Done!
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow will we be married.
I do desire it with all my heart. And I hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world. Here comes two of the Duke's exiled people.
Well met, honest gentleman.
By my troth, well met. Come, sit, and a song.
We are for you. Sit in the middle.
Shall we clap unto it roundly, without hawking or spitting or saying we are hoarse, which are the only prologues to a bad voice?
In faith, and both in a tune.
Goodly people, though there was no great matter in the ditty, yet the note was very untunable.
You are deceived, sir. We kept time. We lost not our time.
By my troth, yes. I count it but time lost to hear such a foolish song. God be with you, and God mend your voices. Come, Audrey.
It was not foolish.
It was a lover, and his best friend.
dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. For those that fear they hope, know they fear.
Once more, whilst our compact is urged, you say, if I bring in your daughter, you will bestow her on Orlando here.
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
You say you'll have her when I bring her?
That would I, if I were all kingdoms' kings.
You say you'll marry me, if I be willing.
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you do refuse to marry me, you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
You say you'll have Phoebe if she will.
Though to have her and death were both one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refusing, that you'll give yourself to the shepherd. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll have Phoebe if she refuse me. And from hence I go to make all these doubts even.
I do remember in that shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
You know, sir, when I first saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But I can assure you that that boy is forest born, and hath been tutored in the many desperate studies of his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in the circle of this forest.
There is sure another flood toward all these couples coming to the ark. Why, here be a pair of very strange beasts, who in all tongues be called fools.
Salutation and greeting to you all.
Good Duke, this is the motley-minded gentleman who I have often encountered in the forest. He hath been at the court, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have brokered a deal, flattered a lady, been politic with my friend, and smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 3 tailors, had 4 quarrels, and like to have had one.
Good Duke, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
God aid you, sir. I desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor woman, sir, an ill-favored thing, sir, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to take that no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, sir, in a poor house, as your pearl in your foul oyster.
By my faith, he is very swift and sententious.
Then is there mirth in heaven when earthly things made even atone together? Receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her. Yea, brought her hither, that thou mightest join her hand with his.
Whose heart within his bosom is.
For I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love, adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor never wed a woman if you be not she.
Peace ho! I bar confusion.
'Tis I must make conclusion of these most strange events.
There are 8 that must join hands to join in Hymen's bands, if truth holds true contents.
You and you, no cross shall part.
You and you are heart and heart.
You, his love you must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter is to foul weather. Whilst a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason's wonders may diminish. How thus we met, and these things finished.
I do.
I now pronounce you husbands and wives. You may kiss your brides.
Oh, my dear niece, thou art right welcome to me, even daughter, in no less degree.
I will not eat my word, now thou art mine. Thy faith and my fancy to thee doth combine.
Duke, let me have audience for a word or two. I am the middle child of Roland de Bois, that brings tidings to this fair assembly. Frederica, hearing how that every day men of great worth resort to this forest, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot, in her own conduct purposely to take her brother here and plan to force him out. And to the skirts of this wild wood she came, where, meeting with this religious woman, after some question with her, was converted, both from her enterprise and from the world. Her title, bequeathed to her ousted brother, and his title that were with him exiled, restored to him again. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, young lady. Thou offerest fairly to thy brother's wedding. To one, the lands withheld. To the other, the lands itself at large, a potent holding. First in this forest, let us do those ends that were here well begun and well begot. After, let every of this happy number who have endured true days and nights with us share in the good of our returned fortune, according to the measures of their states. Meantime, forget this newfound dignity and fall into our rustic revelry. Play music, and you brides and bridegrooms all, dance with measures heaped in joy, to the measures fall.
Mr. Boys, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, Frederica hath taken on a contemplative life and thrown into neglect the pompous court.
She hath.
To her will I. Out of these converts, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You, to your former honor I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue much deserve it. You, to a love that your true faith doth merit. You, to your land and love and great allies. You, to your long and well-deserved bed. And you to wrangling, for thy loving voyage is but for 2 months. So, to your pleasures, I am for other than dancing measures.
Stay, Jaques. Stay.
To cede no pastime, I what you would have. I'll stay to know at your abandoned camp.
Proceed, and we'll begin these rites, as we trust they'll end in true delights.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my